That was Chris Lowe, an assistant coach at St. Bonaventure. We spoke about his high school experiences playing for the legendary coach Bob Cimino of Mount Vernon High School, his standard principles as a coach, the top players that he coached against, and his advice for the next generation of coaches. I am Mark Williams, and this is the Assistants Podcast. Welcome, Coach Lowe. How are you?
How you doing, man? I'm good. I'm happy to be here, man. Happy to just, be on the show. Thanks for reaching out to me to be on.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure. The pleasure's all mine. And like I said to you before, the next generation of coaches need to see that the current generation used to be them at some point also. So they need to see how to rise up to the top like you guys are doing.
Yeah, man. It's a grind. Just got to put your head down and just keep grinding every day and just keep learning from everybody within a program that you're in. Just learn from you can learn from the managers, you can learn from the assistants, you can learn from the ops, you even learn from your players. So just keep an open mind with things.
Okay. So now that you, I've known you since you were a long time now. How did you end up where you are right now? Because obviously you were a pretty good player in the Atlantic 10. And obviously a high school superstar. How did you end up where you are right now as an assistant coach? Did you ever anticipate being an assistant coach?
Honestly, I never really anticipated to getting into coaching. I always loved the game of basketball. I played the game of basketball at a high level, but I really just wanted to help kids and help the next generation become better players. So, I was doing after I was finished playing ball, I did a little player development, and then I just started to get into coaching at Arkansas Stepinac for a little bit. And then coaching just grew on me. And I was like, I kind of really like this thing, helping these kids, helping the next generation. So I took it from Stepinac, then I went on to be a GA at St. Louis University. And then from St. Louis University, I went on to Texas Rio Grande Valley with the late great Bill, rest in peace, passed last year unexpectedly. I was a video coordinator, and then I got bumped up to the assistant coach. And then this summer, that's what it pays to, like I said, to learn from everybody. One of the assistant coaches at St. Louis that I work with knew the head coach at St. Bonnie's, and then St. Bonnie's had a position open, and everything worked out. So, I'm just grateful and thankful that I was able to build these relationships and have a good rapport with these guys, and he was able to refer me to Coach Smith.
So we're going to get back to the word relationship, because that's obviously something that's been running throughout all the coaches and the profession as a whole is having strong relationships. But before we get to that, some of the coaches that you had around you were obviously strong coaches, like your high school coach. Can you let the world know who your high school coach was and how many state championships he won and how the players that he had in addition to you?
Yes, of course. I played for the great Bob Cimino in Mount Vernon High School, Mount Vernon, New York. Right outside New York City. You would call it the sixth borough. And he has won, I can't even really, probably about 7 to 8 state championships. He coached Ben Gordon, NBA player. He went to UConn. He coached Jabari Hines, who went on to West Virginia, then finished off at UMass. He coached Kevin Jones, who was at West Virginia, was a Big East first team all-conference for 2 years. Coached Keith Benjamin, who played at University of Pittsburgh. Myself, I went to University of Mass. Jonathan Mitchell was New York State Player of the Year. He ended up going to the University of Florida, then finishing up at Rutgers. Mike Coburn went to Rutgers University. Sherrod Wright went to George Mason. This is just in my era alone. So he has coached numerous Division I college athletes, but the biggest thing is he's more like a father figure. Every kid that been in his high school program went on to play college basketball, whether it was Division I, Division II, Division III, or NAIA. So that's what I think Coach Cimino probably most proud of.
Now, being that he has such success, did that inspire you? Because I know you mentioned you just want to help, for the most part, help the next generation of player. Do you see a little bit of you in him?
Yes, definitely. Always being there for the guys. It wasn't all about basketball with him, X and O's. It was more of like, hey, what do you need? Some kids, you're coming from the inner city. Sometimes kids they might need a pair of shoes. They might need something to eat. It's inner city kids. You're dealing with a lot, so he's there for you more than just a basketball coach. So I think that's what I really took, and that's why I really want to help these young men.
No, I can definitely see that, and obviously during your time with Stepinac, you guys had a pretty good program there also, and obviously one of the best programs in New York State. Now, who did you have when you were there at Stepinac?
When I was at Stepinac, we had R.J. Davis. He's now the star point guard in North Carolina. We had Allen Griffin, Illinois. Then went to Syracuse. Now he's playing NBA G League. We had AJ Griffin, who's now at Duke, who just had a pretty good game at Duke. We had Xavier Wilson's at Central Connecticut. Joel Soriano, he started at Fordham, now he's at St. John's.
Yep.
So we had a nice, we went on to win the state championship. We had a pretty good crew.
Now, being that you've been around such great players, who is the best player, other than yourself, of course, who is the best player that you faced in growing up, and then also in that you've seen on high school and college level?
The best player I ever faced growing up, I would say, was Sebastian Telfair. We played Sebastian in the state championship, Federation Championship game, and Bassy was really ahead of his time.
Right.
With social media and everything now, you got kids thinking like Mike, all the social media stars, or what social media do for these young guys. Bassy was really ahead of his time. He was a great player. Had a great career. He is probably the best to ever do it. If you think about his size and what he accomplished, being a 6-foot lottery pick,
right?
That's amazing. So I would say Sebastian Telfair, and then I would also say DJ Augustine. DJ Augustine was a bad boy in high school. He had a great career at Texas. And then when I get to the college level, I would say George Hill. I never knew who George Hill was, but after I played George Hill, I definitely knew who George Hill was.
And look, we got like 12 years in the league now, or something like that, right?
Yeah. 12 years in the league from IUPUI.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what IUPUI is, but he made it as a first-round pick out of IUPUI.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so he was definitely a tough cover.
Now, being that you were in Atlantic 10, and like you mentioned, you were a pretty good player in Atlantic 10. How does it feel now walking into those same gyms as an A10 coach? Do the fans still kill you a little bit as a UMass legend over there? Do they feel a certain kind of way towards you?
It kind of feels surreal honestly. It's like, wow, I used to be here. I know I used to be on the other side as a player.
Right.
So, the fans still kill me. The fans still show me love. Some fans actually really excited to see me in the conference, And one thing I say about UMass, when I go back and play UMass, they always show love, obviously, because that's my alma mater. But the other schools, they show love too. So I just think it's like a surreal moment to be coaching in the A10 in a conference that I'm really familiar with as a player and as a coach.
No, that's dope, actually. I can imagine walking back into UMass and I'm just loving you.
Yeah.
Killing you and loving you at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, being that you're relatively young in the coaching profession, as when you become a head coach, what one principle that you will never leave, or that you would never waver as far as your defensive strategy and your offensive strategy, whether it's play hard, up the line, on the line, or whatever. What's going to be your calling card as a coach?
Defensively, I would just say things that you can control, which is effort and energy. Control your effort and energy on the defensive end, and play, and always be one unit on defense. Nobody's on an island. The game is 5 versus 5. It's not 1-on-1. So know that your teammate has your back defensively. And offensively, we're just going to play for each other, I'm going to try to put the guys in the best positions to be successful with their strengths. I was always taught, play to your strengths and camouflage your weaknesses. So
right.
I will, try to learn my team's players the best, their strengths to the best of my abilities, and put them in a position to be successful. So
I got it.
It would be more on your personnel. Your personnel can change every year. So as your personnel changes, you want to learn your personnel and learn their strengths and try to put them in a position to be successful.
Would you recruit you if you were a head coach?
If I was a head coach, absolutely I recruit myself. Definitely for the A10, knowing I was successful, I think I picked the right situation for me, the right school, I picked the right coach and the right style of play. And it's all about relationships too, and it's all about the style of play and fit. It's not always about the name of the school. Right.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Now, you mentioned relationships. What is the one skill that the next generation of coaches, the next generation of aspiring coaches need to really cultivate within the relationship world? Like, relationships, how important are relationships in the next generation of coaches?
Oh, it's humongous because, a lot of times I think in this world too, a lot of the people that we play with, they have kids, you could, if you have those type of relationships, you could end up one day possibly recruiting their kids, or just
Mm-hmm.
it's always about just treating people the right way and treating people with respect. And I think, you treat people the right way, people remember that, and you can build relationships with people. So I think it's just you just gotta go and be professional and always leave a good mark on people. Always, people when they talk about you, they always say the positive things.
Yeah, I would agree wholeheartedly. I would also say that the relationship component is probably is key. And you mentioned it earlier regarding the relationship at St. Bonnie, due to the relationship that you had at St. Louis. In today's world, sadly, for the most part, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And obviously, in the coaching profession, that's vital, key, it's essential. It really.
Yes, it's definitely who you know. You know the right people. You know the right people who can help push you through. You just need that one person to give you an opportunity to put your foot in the door. That's one person to really take a chance on you and give you the opportunity, and then you show them, and you get the opportunity, and you show them, and you want to make them proud, and you want to make the people who pushed you to that, or chose you to that guy,
right,
proud. So it's all about, when you get that opportunity, taking it and run with it, and just working your butt off and doing whatever it is you can to help your program be successful.
Okay. Now, we're going to wrap up because I know we got to get back. It's Christmas time.
Yeah.
I'm
happy to be on.
Yeah, I got you. I appreciate you again. I'm gonna ask you some quick questions. All right. Best point guard you mentioned would probably be Sebastian Telfair that you played against, right?
Yes.
Shooting guard.
Best shooting guard I ever played against? That'd be tough. I would probably say a kid named Levi Goldwire. He went to UNC Charlotte. I think he scored about over 2,200 points or something like that at UNC Charlotte in the 18. So I'd probably say he was only about 6 feet. He was a bad boy, though.
All right, 3-man.
3-man? I played against some pretty good threes. I can't really admit off the top, but I would say Rudy Gay, UConn.
It took you that long to say that one? It must kill me, man.
He was good in college, but it was some really, of course I played against some studs that were better college players. Rudy was a better pro.
Yeah.
But college, sometimes you have guys that's better.
Yeah, that's true.
Than college players, you have better college players than pro. So
that's true.
I would say I would say Rudy.
Okay, who's your 4-man? And let's go old school 4-man. Power forwards, not the stretch 4s and 5s.
Old school power forward. I would say who was it? That team from UConn, man, Josh Boone.
Oh yeah, that front line was crazy though. By the way.
Yeah, Josh Boone,
Hilton Armstrong. Yeah, that was a good team.
Yeah.
And so is Hilton your 5?
My 5.
You caught a Mecca?
No, I didn't play against a Mecca. My 5 would be dang, I forgot the guy's name. He was at Temple. It was a big at Temple. He was there with Marty Collins and them guys.
I'll have to think on that one.
His name. Yeah, but he was pretty good.
Now give me who that you coached against. The same 5 positions. Point guard, shooting guard, small forward, 3, 4, 5, all the way up.
I coached against, from who I coached against, I would say Tyson Walker was pretty good in the high school. I thought he was a kid that a lot of people really missed out on. Yep. Sometimes people think about size, but you got to really look at a basketball player and see how a kid play. He played the game the right way. As you can see, he's now at the high level.
Right.
State,
he is
doing this thing. As a 2 guard, I would say the kid Boogie Ellis was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
3-man.
Yep.
Can't really say it. I haven't really coached that many really good. Well, can I choose college also?
Yep.
Oh, the kid from Virginia Tech, Alexander Walker.
Oh, yeah, he's nice.
He was like a 2-3 at Virginia Tech with Buzz Williams. He was dope. He was a tough cover. And 4-man.
4-man, yep.
The 4-man, I would say. Then played against. coaching. Let me see. I'm trying to think of who I could say was a really tough foreman. I was trying to think of the kid from matter of fact, the kid from is it Xavier? Not Xavier. I'm sorry, from UConn. Matter of fact, the kid from UConn is pretty good. Cook was pretty good. We just played him. I think he has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And then the five man, the big kid we just played from Virginia Tech was pretty good. Kevin Amar. He's very skilled. He's very skilled.
Now, with that being said,
I also played against coached against Miles Powell. Miles Powell was a bad boy. Last year in college, bad boy.
That's why he's where he's at, though.
Yeah, yes, he was a bad boy. Yeah, so you can't forget about a guy named Miles Powell.
Okay, so of the 5 that you mentioned, you coach again, you would bust their ass though.
Nah, they got it. My days are over, man. I'm happy those guys is having great careers at the next on the college level and then the next level, man. So I was a solid player, man. My teammates made me better than I really was.
That's a good coach's answer right there.
Yeah,
that's a good coach's answer. All right, so with that being said, we're gonna wrap up. What do you have for the next generation? What words of advice would you give them as far as getting into the business and then also maintaining in the business, thriving in the business, and being stars in their roles?
Just like I said, man, learn from everybody. Learn from any and everybody. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know who knows who. So always, stay positive, talk positive, never try to be negative about people. In my life, I was always taught, you don't get nothing out of talking bad about a person. So I would never talk bad about a person. Even if I didn't care for that person, I would never talk bad about a person. Because it's not, and me personally, I was just brought up a different kind of way. It's not going to hurt you to just, say positive things about someone.
Right.
Because you just never know who knows who. So, and just work your ass off, because people are looking. Even when you think they're not looking, they're really looking. So,
right.
Just put your head down, work hard, bust your ass, and stay positive and meet as many people as you can and develop relationships, because you never know where it could lead you to.
Right. And then obviously go to Final Four events and
just go to Final Fours, go the rising coaches. Get into all them type of events and the programs and just meet people and network.
Right.
You just never know.
Right. Because the Dobo now could be the head coach in 4 years.
Yes. The Dobo now and the manager, how you treat the managers, you just never know. Managers become head. Look at Eric Spoelstra. He was a manager. Now he's one of the best coaches in the NBA. You just never know. Buzz Williams. Look, you just never know.
You're right.
So you want to treat the managers, because them guys, the managers, they know a lot about basketball. Even though players at times you probably joke and laugh and just play with them, but you never know. In 5-10 years, they head coaches. You might be calling them for a job.
Yeah.
So how you treat them guys also goes a long way.
Yeah, because Nurse got a championship ring in Toronto. He never played on. Eric got a championship ring in Miami.
Yeah, so you just you never know, man.
You're right.
So I just always try to stay positive and always, treat everybody with respect and dignities. That's all.
Well, I thank you, Coach Lowe, for the opportunity, for jumping on, and wish you and your family nothing but the greatest times in in the holiday season. And thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me on, Mark. I wish you nothing but success with everything you got going on. And thanks for having me on. Happy holidays to you and your family.
Thank you, man. All right.